I'm now going to introduce Endure as it was set out to be 4 years ago, so you get an idea of what we were getting ourselves into, so to speak. So just to give a bit of context, the project is funded by the European Union, the ERDF. The European flag is up here today. It's 2.1 million euros across 6 partners with 15 observer partners. A few of you are here today, so thank you for coming. And it runs till December this year. Now it's just winding down with lots of admin. Looking forward to it. When we started off, our project goals were to improve resilience of dunes with 6 new long-lasting management solutions. Now, that can be quite vague. I'll go into it in a second. And the idea was to use ecosystem-based approaches to improve dune resilience. And then the second goal was to increase stakeholder adaptation by 50%. By developing new tools that would help them in their day-to-day management of the dune sites, and then that it would be applicable to dunes outside of the project scope, so outside of the 6 partner areas. Alongside that, there was an outreach campaign where we were targeting to reach 10,800 coastal stakeholders and 12,800 citizens. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? Especially with what's happened recently. So in order to do this, we set out 6 pilots. So the first one of those pilots was a sand trapping net installed in northern France. You'll hear all about that in a bit. And this was to protect dunes in an estuary in northern France that was suffering from rapid erosion, and you will see the images. It's quite something. We'll see how we got on. We were also looking to analyse the impact of whether mussel post farms in northern France had any impact on wave velocity or sediment transport. And that could have been a win-win scenario for planners because it's both an economic and an environmental benefit. We'll find out if that actually works as well in a bit. And this concerns Norfolk. In Norfolk, we were looking to proactively and strategically manage visitor flows on sites to prevent erosion damage. This from the England Coast Path that at Norfolk County Council we manage. So we'll find out about that a bit later, and we'll hear from one of our dune sites in Norfolk and from some of the technology we used to monitor and manage visitor flows. We also look to develop new tools. So we'll hear today about the mapping tool to visualize dune resilience to the effects of climate change, whether our dune systems will manage with sea level rise. We have a tool to we have a tool to show that ecosystem-based approaches are beneficial versus hard engineering with the ecosystem services benefits that we'll have a presentation later by the University of Ghent. And we have a tool here today. Our partners are here today from the Netherlands. Thank you for coming all this way. A tool to assess the impact of buildings on dunes and the sea defence. Finally, all of this was supported by outreach and communication. So we had a campaign to inform site managers and stakeholders about the tools and the outputs of the project. This was meant to be field visits, workshops, and one-to-one support with site managers and workshops. We were informing coastal communities through public events, guided dune walks and outside classrooms, and we put together a communications campaign with a video that we shared on social media, and we'll present that later as well. As you know, there's been quite a long period of COVID, so you can see that all these outreach events were supposed to be in person, so we'll explain how we got on with that in a bit.